In this video, I'm going to look at the structure of a blog. This is the blog that the format that we find works best for both readers and for Google rankings. I'm looking at this particular website where we have, here's our blog pages. We've got 2 rows of 3 articles here and then links to older articles at the bottom. Each article has an image, a heading, an introduction, and a read more button. So let's have a look at how that looks from within the editor. I'm just going to log on to the website. I'll just pause, log on the website, and then we'll come back and see how we actually structure it this way. So here we are back. As you can see, now that we're logged on, we've got our editor buttons up the top because I have edit rights on all of these articles. So I'm going to choose this one because it's quite a small article. It's fairly straightforward as a good example. So let's go to our editor. As you should be aware by now, any article that has a button here or module, you just click there, click edit, and it takes you through to the standard editor that we have set up for this site. And it just loads there. There we are. So we can see here we've got our article, various other items that we can edit in an article here. So the first thing you'll see with the article is the introductory text. That's the bit that we saw on that first front page. And I'll point out here, and the heading on that is a heading number 4. It could be a 2 or 3, doesn't really matter. The main thing is that it's not a heading 1 because you have multiple introductions on the page. We don't want heading number 1s in the introductions because Google only wants to see one of those to know what the page is about. The next thing we see is we've got this grey line here running right across the page. That is in fact what the read more button looks like before it's saved. So I'm just going to delete that and show you. I go up here, I've typed my introduction, and then I come down to the bottom down here is lots of different things we can do, but I'm going to hit the read more, and you'll see that inserts that grey line. Now what I've done then, and this is what I tend to do with most blogs, is I've cut and pasted that text and I've put it underneath the read more button as well, but I've changed the heading. I'll put this top heading as my heading number 1. Remember, this is going to be a page by itself, so we need a heading number 1 to tell Google what's going on. I then added also a heading number 3 using some additional words that I want to be found as for search terms. Then we've added our text, added an image into the text. All of that is outlined in our video on how to structure your content in a page. So it's a separate video. This one we're just looking at the blog layout. Now that's all fine, but remember there was an image in the introduction for the blog. That makes the blog page look nice because you've got those nice consistent images running across on each introduction. Where that comes in is we go up here, images and links, and you'll see intro image. That's where we put that image that comes up in the introduction. To get that, you simply hit select and choose an image from the list of images that are on your server, or you can upload an image from your local computer. Those intro images, try to keep them a consistent size and shape for look. We try to control that a bit with the coding of the website, but it is easier if you actually keep them a fairly consistent size. So that's your intro image. You then give it some alt text, just a description, very brief description of what that image is, and that's there again for Google to let Google know what the thing's all about. This image is also the image that is used when you share this page on Facebook, and that's important because if you're sharing your blogs onto Facebook, you want to know where that image is coming from. If you don't set that up properly, you're likely to end up with no image, or maybe the logo off the top of the page or something like that. It'll just pick a random image from the page. The next thing we need to look at is our metadata. The meta description is the text that is going to get pasted to Facebook when you share. So you can change the text that slightly from how it's going to look using the meta description, and so you don't necessarily share the same introductory text that you have in the article, but you can control that there. And that's basically it for our blog layout. That gives us that nice introduction with the image, all consistent across the page, and then the main body of the post. I've shown you this on an existing one. Same thing happens when you're creating a new article. You'll have start with a blank screen, type in your intro, hit your read more button, type the rest of the text, add an image, add whatever links you want in there, and so on, as we describe in our managing content in Joomla video. And that's how you set up your blog page.